Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to this week's live stream. So excited. Getting everything just set up and rolling here. Today is Friday, April 26th, and I'm so excited to welcome you all here to this week's Freedom Friday event. If you are here, make sure that you take a second and say hello in the chat so that I can shout you out and thank you for being here. It's always so great when you take a second to join. And the same for the replay people. I know everybody can't watch it exactly or join exactly at noon on Friday, but I hope that you still take the time to do the exercise that we're doing together here in the live stream. So I'll say hello to Mary over on Instagram. Hey, Miss Hortman over on Instagram. I'm glad you guys got a second to jump over and say hello. This is a weekly co-planning session where we set next week's schedule up for success. Because weekly planning is a core activity that helps us create work-life balance. And then we celebrate our wins and we also wind down for the weekend. That's what we do in this free session every single week. But at the beginning, I love to talk about um, just a quick topic about something that might be working well or you might be struggling with for, as it comes with creating work life balance. So, this week's topic, I wanted to talk about how, hard work does not always pay off. We've been told that hard work always pays off and that we just got to keep working harder and harder. And if you're not getting what you want, then you evidently haven't been working hard enough. And I say that's completely bullcrap because we've seen plenty of people work hard and then we've seen other people who don't work very hard at all and they're still getting ahead. So my thought is like, well, maybe it's that those of us that are working hard, maybe we're feverishly working hard at the thing that's not actually creating the life that we want. And that was my own experience. So for the longest time, my goal was to get a good corporate job, climb the corporate ladder, and then, make enough money to live my best life. And yes, I did that, but I also felt like, I don't think I actually want this. I think I want something different. So when I took a step back and I looked at what exactly I did want and got that all out on paper and just allowed my dreams to flow, I realized that the life that I was building, my original plan wasn't that corporate job, corporate ladder, make enough money to live my best life. That was more of a trap to keep me this worker bee than actually creating the life that I wanted. And so I had to make some changes. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that everyone should go out and quit their job and be an entrepreneur. That's instead what I'm actually saying is that let's take a step back and choose for ourselves. Like actually look at if this is what I want my life to look like, is the thing that I'm doing right now, is that going to actually help me build that? Because in this day and age, there's so many different ways to make money. We don't have to just do this traditional get the corporate job type thing. Like we can actually be creative and find other ways to build the life that we want. So, how can you know that you're making progress to the dream that you say you want? Well, I would say there's 4 steps that really helped me get the clarity that I needed to know, like no is no, that I was building the life that I wanted. So if you're a note-taking type of human, this is a good place to get it. But first, let me say hey to Maggie. Hey, Maggie, so glad you could join today. I love when you get to join here today. Yeah, so I hope that gave you a second to get your paper out. There's 4 things that I have found that help me know as no that I am building the life that I want, not just working hard for the hell of working hard. So number 1, I get really clear, I get crystal clear clarity around my life vision. And that's me deciding what I want from my life. And I know that can be really hard. And that's why I have a whole program on helping people get started with that. Um, so that's number one, get clear on your life vision. Then number two, decide what can I do today that's going to help me live that vision. A lot of times we get so stuck in the idea that our vision is down the road. We don't connect back to there's steps that I could do today that are going to help me build that life. So, what are the steps today? Because it's not going to happen overnight. You're not just going to wake up one day and finally be there. This is something that we have to take baby steps that are going to snowball into that. So, what are we doing today to build that? So, that's number two. The number three, do that thing on a regular basis. You know, we need that snowball effect. We need that compounding interest, those compounding activities of when we are doing the things that build that life. Not only are we starting to live it right now, that grows, and the life that we want to live starts to compound and grow in such a big way that it's not just an event, a task that happens every day. It's now the life that we live. Travel used to be like a thing that I did occasionally. Now it's the life that I live. Most time people are like, girl, where are you at today? That's the first question I get. That's the kind of thing that we want to do. Hey, Journey of Teresa. So glad you got to join today. So that's number three. And then number four, adapt that task when you realize that it's no longer building the life that you want. So you know that you've created the vision and you started doing something every day to build that. But if you realize that your vision has evolved, or that you realize that, you know, this thing that I've been doing every day to build that vision is not actually helping me get there anymore, you're not starting over, but just tweak it. What needs to happen to get you back on track? I think one of the hardest things about taking our vision from this high level thing down to what we do every day, we get a little freaked out if one little thing has to change. But we need to think of that more as like when we're driving, you can't just hold the steering wheel straight the whole time. You always are kind of tweaking it, okay? It's the same thing that we're doing with the task that we're doing every day that's taking us to the life vision that we want. And that is what snowballs, just like if we were to start over every time we made a wrong turn on the navigation, we would never get anywhere. It's the same thing when we're building the life that we want. So when I say that working hard doesn't pay off, it pays off when we are clear about the things that we are doing are specifically taking us where we want to go. We're not just working for the hell of working, because who has time for that? Nobody has time for that, right? We're trying to live our best life while we actually have the energy, while we have the strength of mind, while we've got the shape in the body to do those things, right? So let's make time. Let's make sure that the work that we're putting in is paying off for us right now. We don't have to wait for it to pay off in the future. We can do things to make sure it's paying off right now. So, I'm checking my notes here. So, if you are one of those people that are like, you know what, I've been working crazy hard and I am at a place where I am tired of feeling like I've been on a hamster wheel, like I can't get off and I'm just working hard and it's not actually taking my life to where I want it to go, then I suggest, please, please, please schedule an exit plan call. 9 times out of 10, it's not that you have not worked hard enough, especially us as Black women. We always show up. We're always doing all the work. Like it's not that you've not worked hard enough. It's that we can redirect it. And this call is about taking a very a good step back and looking at what is the life that you want to do and how can we shift what you're doing now to make that happen? And the best part about it is the call is free. It's a 45-minute call where by the end of this call, you're going to have a plan to exit hustle culture and really get into the work-life balance and the lifestyle freedom that you want. So, you know, I am so excited to be able to have that call with you. If you don't know me and you just decided to get on this live stream, hi. I'm Rashida. I'm a life coach for Black women, corporate professionals, and entrepreneurs who are tired of burnout and want to create a work-life balance lifestyle that they can pursue all of the other things that they love and enjoy. So, on my YouTube channel, I'm always talking about letting go of workaholism, practical ways to design the life that you want to live and design, or design and live the life that you want, and how to use vision to redefine success so that you're making all of it real, not just putting it up in your mind, but actually doing things that build that life. So I also talk about living my passions like eating good food, traveling, and physical wellness. So, all of those things, if those sound good to you, I hope you continue to join these Freedom Fridays calls where we're actually doing some of the work that we do in my program. We're setting up your schedule for next week, celebrating your wins, and winding down for the week. I hope you continue to join this. In addition to, head over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel so you can get all the other free information that I share over there. So, that being said, I want to go ahead and jump into today's session. I love Freedom Fridays because every week we get together and start with, first and foremost, celebrating the wins. And celebrating our wins is so important because we as Black women, again, we get on this habit of go, 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 go. And we're not so good at celebrating just how much progress we've made, but we deserve to celebrate that progress because all of it, if we're actually using it to build the life that we want, man, like we're making so much progress, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us too. So if that's you, I'm so excited that you're here. Now, if you haven't already said hello, make sure you drop a hello in the chat. If you are on Instagram, I can see you, but if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, any of those other platforms, I don't know that you're here until you post a comment and say hello. So please take a second to say hello. I would love to shout you out. That being said, let's get started on celebrating our wins for the week. I hope that you came with your list of things that you want to celebrate. What are you celebrating? 3 things that you want to celebrate from this week. Big, small, in between, about your business, about your career, about your kids, about your family, about your own self. What are the things that you are celebrating this week? Go ahead and start getting those things put into the chat so that I can shout them out for you. And I'm going to share mine while I'm giving you a chance to do that. So the first thing that I am celebrating this week. So I have another business that I do with my friend. It's called Cafe Co. And I do the business side, and she is the artist that creates functional art. And she does beautiful hand painted all kinds of things. So either designs or hand painted. And we had two amazing pop-up shops this past weekend. Now that I'm actually getting to what I'm celebrating. Oh, Meg P says, hi again. I switched from IG to YouTube. Yay. YouTube is where you get all the fun stuff anyway. So I'm glad you switched over. But yeah, so I'm celebrating. We had a really great pop-up on Sunday. We sold some amazing pots. If you have not checked out that feed, Cafe Co, Kafico on Instagram is the best place to see all the amazing pots. I don't have, all of my stuff is over there, and I don't want to have to go off the screen to get it. But so yeah, check us out. So yes, that was a great event on Monday. Let me see. What's the second thing that I am celebrating from this week? Oh, I got these plants for my birthday. These flowers, they are beautiful. That's another thing I'm celebrating. It's something about the sunshine and fresh cut flowers that just makes me feel so good, and it's starting to feel like spring. I am solar powered, y'all. I need sun all the time. So I'm grateful that we had at least 4 days of sun this week. Today has been the first cloudy day, and that my flowers are still doing amazing. So that's the second thing that I am celebrating. Let me see. What else am I celebrating? Oh, I know what else I'm celebrating. This is so nerdy, but I don't care. You will get the benefits of it. I have been trying out different planners. So my favorite planner, the one that I tend to suggest, a digital planner, is Sansama. But there were a couple things that I was like, oh, let me see. One of them being the price. It's $20 a month, which is not huge. But I was like, I wonder if there's something else out there that I could try. And so I found another planner that I think that I've fallen in love with. I have gone through probably 10 planners in the last week. So to say that I found one is a huge feat for me. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys today. So those are my wins. Oh, lovely. Meg just shared some of her wins in the chat as well. Let me go ahead and get those on the screen. So Meg says, my wins for this week are that I made it to another whole year of life today. Happy birthday, Meg! Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Meg. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Happy birthday, Meg. I'm happy to celebrate with you today. It took this whole week. I took this whole week of work off. That's so good. You deserve that time away. Listen, if we're going to celebrate anything, we need to celebrate our birthdays. I'm so glad that you took that time off. Happy birthday. Oh, and you also said, I signed up for an exit call with you later today. Yes, I'm looking forward to that call today. It's going to be so good. You guys, I just talked about what we do in the exit call a little bit earlier, exit plan call. So you can sign up for one too, completely free. I'm looking forward to getting on that call with you today, Meg. If you're just joining, please know I am so excited that you're here. Also, make sure that you say hello in the chat. That's a thing. Because if you're on any of the platforms other than Instagram, I can't see you to say happy birthday, or I can't see you to say hello that you're here. So please make sure you say hello in the chat. Oh, Meg said thank you. Yay! And then over on Instagram, Miss Lula said happy birthday to you too, Meg. Happy birthday. So happy to celebrate your birthday. Lovely. Anybody else? Make sure you drop your wins in the chat. I would love to share them here on the live stream because we are celebrating our wins. That's an amazing thing. Okay. So I'll give you a couple more minutes to drop some celebrations in the chat. And then if they come back around, then or if they come up in the chat, then I'll come back around to it. But I want to make sure I keep us moving. So the next part of this session is that we are going to set up our schedule for next week. And we do that by going through a little bit of a process that I have given you a worksheet for. That worksheet is if you don't have a copy of it yet, completely free to download it. That's freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com. Actually, let me go ahead and put that in the chat. Oh, Lord, can I spell? I promise I can spell. Yes, freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com. So yes, you could go ahead and download the worksheet there, completely free. Hey, Lori, so glad you can join today. We're about to get into the weekly planning part of our session. So if you are over on Instagram, here's the thing. You guys are in vertical. You're going to miss out on all the good parts of this next part of the session. So if you want to continue with the session, you're going to have to come over to YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn to do this next part of the session with us. But in the meantime, go ahead and get your worksheet at freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com. And then the YouTube, the Instagram people, we're going to say goodbye. We'll see you next week. Okay? All right. All right. So now that we're ending that and we're getting over into our co-planning part of our session, this is when you want to get your worksheet out. So I'm getting my iPad out and ready. We are going to go ahead and jump into doing our co-planning, to doing our planning together right here, right now. Okay. So here's what that's going to look like. I am going to open up my worksheet on the screen, and then I'm going to put some music on, and that's going to give you some time to go through the worksheet at the same time as I am going through it. That means if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and we can talk through them. And then we're going to do just the first part where we're gathering together. What is our objective for next week? And what are the tasks that we need to do that are going to help us accomplish that objective next week? Now, you might use the word goal. So goal, objective, regardless, you want to make it very measurable so that you can decide for sure that you've actually achieved it. So that's what we're going to do in this first section. You're going to see a timer come up on the screen, and you're going to have about 10 minutes to go ahead and do that with me. So starting now. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and put some music on. Doesn't mean that you guys can't get started. This is just where you're going to want to be going through your worksheet. As you can see, it's on my iPad. I'm just usually this is all set up and it's acting a little crazy today. I wonder. So even if you can't see my screen right now, what's happening is that, oh my gosh, everything is moving. That's what's happening. Everything is acting crazy today. But either way, what we're working on right now is that we are going through pages 4 through 6 to gather the objective that we want to accomplish for next week and the tasks that we want to work on, that we want to schedule for next week, so that we have them all ready for the next step right after this. If you're just joining, make sure you go ahead and say hello in the chat. This is the part of our session today where we are writing out our objective for next week. We're choosing it. And then we're also brainstorming what are the tasks that we need to do next week or to do to accomplish that objective next week. So we're gathering that plus any of our regular routines, our regular habits, and we're putting them all in one list so that when we get into the scheduling part in this next section, that we have everything that we need to schedule right in front of us so that we don't forget anything and that our planning can be super effective. And usually you would see me doing that on the screen, and today I'm having technical difficulties. Don't you love technology? I do. Got about 4 more minutes. Also, if you're hanging out, make sure you take a second to like this live stream so that, you know, if you are enjoying this and you find this beneficial, that YouTube and all the different algorithms will start sharing this event with other people as well so that more of us can join and do our weekly planning together. Sure I get my list together. Sorry that you can't see it on the screen with me today. I'm sure we'll have it back to normal next week. So we got just about 20 seconds here. This is fucking crazy today. That's okay. We got an appointment at the store for later today. now we're switching into the next section of our session today, which is getting us into planning. And so I am going to be putting scheduling the task that I just created on my to-do list for that objective. I'm going to be putting them on my calendar, and you want to spend this time setting up your calendar as well. Again, one of the most important things about work-life balance is that it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intentionality. And so we create so much space to plan and do things for work, but we don't put nearly as much intentionality into our life. And so this is about not just making sure you're setting up your schedule for work, but also making sure you're setting up time in your schedule for fun, for rest, for exercise, all of those different things, so that you are making sure you've dedicated time for just as much of the things that are important in your life as you have for work. So the way that I like to do that is using a digital planner. If you are a physical planner person, then do what you do. I completely get it. I was a physical planner person for a very long time. I don't have them behind me right now, but yes, I've used my two favorite physical planners are the because I was having a brain fart. The Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt, which it comes in a quarterly planner, so Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And I love that because it really focuses on setting up your time and energy budget, plus some other resources that I have found be super, super helpful to me. And good at prioritizing your day. Those are the two main reasons why I love the Full Focus Planner. And then my other favorite planner is the Passion Planner. And I love it because it's really good at helping you do brain dumps and then choosing your objective for the week and reorganizing that so that you can actually take steps. So as you can see, both of these planners, I have pulled different things that I love from those, and that's come together for me and how I create and maintain my life systems throughout the week. So either of those options are great if you are into physical planners. If you are a digital planner kind of person, then if you're looking for a free option, that free option would probably be best if you just use like a Google Calendar or a Outlook calendar or your Apple Calendar. Any of those things. The one thing that I feel like a regular calendar is missing is that you need to have a good place to keep your to-do list, your task list. So you might end up using maybe Google Tasks. If you're using Google Calendar, you can use those two together. That would be a great free option. Another option is Sensama is really good for business because I would say if you use multiple project management systems, so like you use Google Calendar plus ClickUp plus Asana. What I love about Sensama is it pulls tasks from all of those different places and puts it into this one spot. So you can see all of the tasks that you have to do in one place, which is really nice. If you compartmentalize your life, you will overbook yourself. That's hands down. If you compartmentalize your life, if you have tasks about something here and tasks about another part of your life here and tasks about another part of your life over here, you are compartmentalizing and you will definitely overbook yourself. And I am telling you from experience. So you definitely want a system that's going to help bring all the tasks that you have to do into one place. Okay. So Sensama is really good at doing that if you use multiple systems. And then I have recently found in this last week, Ellie. I like Ellie. It is a planner as well, and it's very similar to Sensama. But the biggest difference is that one, there's a free version. Yay for that. Two, it can it's a lot more simplified in the user interface, and there is an upgraded version that I am intending to use, that will allow you to do time blocking, which is really huge for planning your week. So I suggest you check out Ellie. I will make sure I don't have the link in the description yet, but I will make sure I get it in there by the time after we get off of the session today. So this is what Ellie looks like. Now let me see. I want this to be full screen, but I was having some difficulties in getting the full screen to do it, because everything on my laptop today is deciding that it just doesn't want to be bothered. So let's try and quit it and then restart it and see what happens. So what I love about Ellie is that I can put to-do lists on the left-hand side. And then once I decide, it's like my brain dump of all of my to-do lists, all the things that I need to do. So like that first step that we just did, you would have added all of the things that you need to do for this week on that left side. Then once you finish that, then you can go ahead and drag and drop those tasks onto the day that you want to do them. So then you are actually deciding, hey, this is when I want to do that. Now, let me see. There we go. Hold on 1 second. Let me force quit. Okay. You keep saying I got changes, but there's no changes there. Okay. We don't need this either. Lord, everything keeps popping up. Stop helping me. Okay, let me come back to Ellie. All right. So opening Ellie up again. So like I was saying, what I love is that as you can create that full list. There we go. Everything that you are trying to do for or gather for next week's schedule, you can put it in this list on the left-hand side. And you can actually have multiple lists. So you could do a brain dump list and everything is here, and you can decide what part of life is it, so that you can kind of get an idea of what are the different things that you're prioritizing throughout the week. So then once you have the to-do list, then you can drag and drop it onto the day that you want to do it. And then once you drag and drop it on the day you want to do it, then you can actually block time for it in your calendar. So that when that time comes, all you have to do is show up and do that thing. So for example, I'm going to move down to here, and I know that I'm going to be on this call until 1:30. Then I'm going to do lunch, and then I'm going to do my follow-up tasks. And then I'm going to have my exit plan call with Meg today, which is going to be awesome. And then I'm going to do a couple more things. I'm going to wrap up for the evening here. That's why I left it blank. And then I'm going to shut down for the weekend. Yes. So as you can see, like I can clearly see what am I going to be working on for the rest of the day. And I've blocked off time for fun and some other things. Now I'm going to the Genius Bar. Now you might not think it's fun, but I'm actually really excited about going to the Apple Store today. So that's fun for me. And then after that, I'm actually going to stop and get dinner as well. So I love using tools like this to help me time block my day, so that I am prioritizing putting enough time to the thing that I need to work on without over diversifying, like that I can actually just so that I'm not multitasking. That's the word I'm looking at. Because multitasking is not great for productivity. It's so much better to just focus and get something done. Like this morning I focused and I got quite a few social media clips done very quickly because I wasn't trying to do multiple things. So I love that this planner allows me to do that. So what I'm going to do to set up my schedule for next week. So in the planner, the other thing that I like about Ellie, and Sansama does this as well, is that I can set up reoccurring tasks that are always supposed to happen. So I can see the baseline of what my to-dos for that day should always look like. For example, every day I have a sun rising routine. Like I have a morning routine and I have an evening routine. I have a workday startup routine and a workday shutdown routine. So I have about 4 to 5 honestly, I think it's about 6 different routines that happen every single day. I love to have that time blocked off on the calendar with a to-do list, because as much as I would love to say I always remember to do those things, I don't. So it keeps me from planning other things. So like this happens every single day. The things that the subtasks of what I'm going to do on that: read my Bible, write my manifestation, take some time to go sit on the toilet, get on the scale and get dressed. Simple things, but they're things that I check off every day. And I start that routine at 6 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to start that early. I'm just giving you an idea of how I do mine. Then my next routine is my workday startup routine. And so that's looking at my schedule for today, looking at emails, responding to comments from my different social media. And I usually do a walk and work. So this is a treadmill desk. I have a treadmill under it. I'm walking for an hour while I'm doing these things, and then engaging in, connecting with you guys on different channels, and then also doing my stories every morning. So that is as you can see, I give about 2.5 hours to do that. And so I can block those things off on my calendar every day. So the way that I can do that, now you see, this is now showing Monday. So now you can see this is blocked off on my calendar. So that's how my day starts. This is that task that I just talked to you about. And then the other thing that I do on a regular basis with my routines is that there are some things that I have to do every single week, like doing YouTube videos is something I do every single week. So I do those first things in the morning. And then what I actually tend to schedule these other tasks that I have on my brain dump list, I schedule those for in the afternoon, so that I'm doing those tasks there. So like I said, the first thing I would do is I would check on this brain dump list, and I would take a look at what are my top priority things on this list that I want to accomplish, in addition to what's the objective for next week. My biggest objective for next week is to get social media content done. I don't know why I have a mental block on creating short form content, but I do. So I have to, so next week, that's my focus, is to get better at it. Because like I said, when I focus on it and make time to do it first thing in the morning, I get it done. Like, it's great. So I need to make sure next week, my main priority is making time to do that as well. So my task for that for next week, that while I have these other things on, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to make that smaller. There we go. Let's fix that back. Sorry about that, guys. So while I have these other things on my to-do list, they are not the most important for me to accomplish that number one objective for next week. So instead of dragging and dropping these things onto my calendar, that's why today I took a look at my worksheet, and I used that. Once I decided what my objective was going to be, I brainstormed what are the most important things that I need to do to accomplish that objective. And then from that, I compared the list of tasks and prioritized them. And now I just need to drag and drop them into the calendar. So that being said, that is what this time is about. Now, I've spent quite a bit of this 20 minutes talking you through how to do this so that you can do it well. Now, I want to give you at least the last 5-6 minutes to go ahead and spend some time setting up your schedule for the week. And if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Now, also, crap, it looks like I've missed some comments. Let me go ahead back and do that. Let me check those out. Meg said, I tried the digital planners, but I think I like the physical planners better. I do use my Google Calendar sometimes, but I don't like having to look at my phone all the time. That completely makes sense. It's definitely a personal preference, and you go with whatever feels best for you. Like I said, I did plenty of time where I did just physical planners, and that was great for me. The only reason I switched over is because I started having tasks coming from different places, and trying to make sure I always took a second to pull them from there and write them down became a little bit overwhelming for me. And so that's why I switched to digital planners. Otherwise, I would continue to have a physical planner as well. There's something beautiful about writing that I actually love and enjoy. So, yes, be free, Meg. Do what's going to feel good for you, okay? And then you also said, I guess I'm old school. I still write my shopping list on paper. Hey, that still works. That is amazing. There's nothing wrong with old school. Old school is still good, okay? So your shopping list, all the things that you have to do, that's fine. Do what feels good. I just know I'm really good at keeping my phone with me. So, and there's still times, while I say that I'm good at keeping my phone with me, there's still times where I have, this is at hand's length. Like, I keep my journal where I can write down notes, or sometimes where I don't want to do it digitally, where I'm still thinking about it and I need time to like let things marinate, that I still go ahead and write it on paper. I keep this with me just as much as I keep my phone. So there's no need, neither one of these ways is better than the other. Neither one. It's about what works best for you. And that might be a combination of the two. That's totally fine. I am not in any way asking or suggesting that you go from one side to the other, okay? Do what feels good for you, okay? Thanks for those comments. I love when you check in and let me know. I love it. Yes. Let me know which planner you like, Meg. Maybe someone will like it too. Okay. All right. So take the last couple minutes and just finish up the rest of your schedule. All right, I'm just doing a couple things to finish up my schedule. Hopefully you've gotten your schedule all scheduled out as well. I'm just gonna finish this up really quickly. right, because next week I am going to be, after we finish this call next week, I'll be headed to Charleston. I always got something going on. All right. So I hope that you finish setting up your schedule for next week in your calendar during that 20 minutes. And I hope that you got some good ideas about different planners that you can use to help you, whatever's going to work best for you to set up your schedule. Here's the thing, don't try to manage it all in your mind. It does not work. Again, telling you from experience, it does not work. When you try to manage your schedule from your mind, it's easy to overbook yourself, to forget things, to not show up, or to really easily be stretched thin because you're trying to manage too many things in your head. And it doesn't have to be that way. We have so many amazing tools to be able to help you create work-life balance. And that starts with creating a schedule that works for you. So make sure you use your planner, okay? All right. So we've started with a quick chat about how work can work for us if we make sure we're doing the right things. Then we are the right things, meaning the things that are building the life that we want. And then second, we celebrated our wins for the week. Then we set up our schedule for next week. And now we're winding down for the weekend. One of my favorite things about doing this on Friday is that when you write down all the things that your mind is telling you, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, it's like clearing your mind and allowing, it's like shutting things down, like allowing your mind to have the space to not have to think about it anymore because you've written it down in a place that's going to remind you, hey, this is something we have to do. And here's the exact time that we're going to do it and how long we're going to spend to do it. That's the part of it that really clears your mind. So we've done all of that and now we can wind down because there's nothing else plaguing our mind anymore. We're not spinning our wheels anymore. We have a clear mind to actually enjoy the weekend and take work out of context and allow life to be important, to prioritize that now. So in our worksheet, I remind you, there's a checklist on page 18 that reminds you the 4 things that we do to really help us shift into the weekend. So first and foremost, go ahead and take a look at your calendar one more time and make sure that you've scheduled time for rest, for fun, for exercise, for things that prioritize you, not just work, okay? Make sure you've got that scheduled in. Now that you've done that, the next thing that we're going to do, step 1 for winding down, is to take a look. What computer windows can you close this week? I know it feels so crazy and you're probably like, I can't close any windows. That feels like the worst thing ever. Deep breath. You don't have to close every single window. And you know what? You might not even close any windows this week, but every week, try to close just one tab. You don't even have to close the whole window, just one tab. It's been open for 3 weeks now and you haven't looked back at it. I think it's not that important, friend. It's time to let it go. It's okay. So look at what windows do you want to close this week, okay? That's wind down step number 1. Wind down step number 2, okay? What are you going to do? What fun meal are you going to say, this is a Friday, I'm moving into my weekend, this is what I'm going to have today? So maybe that is something that you cook at home. You go and buy the ingredients, but it's a recipe that takes a little bit longer so you don't make it during the week. Maybe that's something you're doing this evening, or maybe you're taking yourself out to dinner. It's something that you don't get to do that often, or a different restaurant that you've been wanting to try. What are you going to do this weekend? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. What are you going to do? Today, I think this is crazy. So if you've been watching, you probably know that I have been transitioning into veganism for about a year now, and it's going really well. I went from being a full-on carnivore to now I'm definitely whole food plant-based. And so I probably eat meat once every 2 months. But this week I've been thinking about a burger, which means my body is probably craving iron, which is fine. So I think I'm going to go to Five Guys and get myself a burger on a lettuce wrap instead of the bread because I don't miss the bread. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do as my fun meal this evening. So let me know, what are you thinking you're going to do for your fun meal this weekend? That's wind down step number 2. And then wind down step number 3. What fun thing are you going to do this weekend that is just like, hey, this is the weekend. I'm going to do something a little bit that's making sure I'm doing something fun other than just watching TV or just running errands. Don't get yourself just caught up in just running errands. Like, actually make sure you do something that feels like you're living life this weekend, okay? So, I'm gonna go dancing this weekend. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I didn't get to go last night. So because usually I try to go dancing a couple times a week, but I didn't get to go last night. So tomorrow, I just found that there's a day party, and I love day parties, you guys. If you're older, I'm 40. If you're around my age, and you're like, you know what? I'm not into that club scene anymore, then I strongly suggest you check out my video from this week. It was called Hobbies for Black Women, Social Dancing. Social dancing is one of my favorite hobbies because there's beautiful things like day parties where I don't have to be out late. I can go and enjoy the fun and, have a couple dances and then go home and enjoy the weekend. So, that's what I'm going to do this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. And then, as always, I love to I have a vegan cooking class that I attend every Sunday. If you are not following her here on YouTube, you should be. You don't have to. I love her name is the Naija Goddess. And what I love about her channel is, while she is vegan, she's not convincing anybody to be vegan. She's actually just showing us a lot of amazing recipes that help us get more vegetables into our diet, and that helps our body, that helps our gut, that helps our hormones. And it really helps level out so many things. That it's helped my blood pressure, my hormones, all of those different things. So she has a free cooking class here in Charlotte that I will be attending on Sunday. So those are my couple fun things for the weekend. What couple fun things are you planning for the weekend? Make sure you tell me in the chat, regardless of whether you're on the replay or not. Leave me a comment and let me know. And then tell me what town you're in too, because I might be in your town and I want to try out what you've got going on too. Okay. So, as always, I love, 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 love getting on this call with you every week, because getting into the habit of doing weekly planning is like exercising a muscle. But when you exercise that muscle on a regular basis, it gets stronger and you get better. And it's the same thing with creating work life balance. Creating work life balance is like exercising a muscle. It's learning to have better boundaries and more decisiveness with your time, and learning how to not stretch yourself thin or overbook yourself. It's a muscle. And when you come every week and you do this session with me, where you you celebrate your wins, you set up your schedule for next week, and you wind down the weekend, you are developing that muscle where you have better work-life balance. So I'm so glad that you joined me, because you are actually doing the work. You're doing the work, and that's amazing. And that is going to snowball into the lifestyle freedom that you want. And so, that being said, if you're ready to take the next steps to creating work-life balance, this is getting us started. This is one of the main disciplines to help us create work-life balance. But the next is that we need to be clear about that vision, like we talked about at the beginning of this session. Where do you want your life to go? What do you want your life to look like? You are probably in a place where you're tired of just taking whatever life gives you, because life can give you lemons, but how are you going to make that life? How are you going to make that life into lemonade with those lemons? And when you have a vision, that's a very intentional way to do that. So creating a vision, and then breaking that down into objectives and key results, breaking that down into goals that you're going to do, and then breaking those goals down into the daily tasks that help you build that life is everything that we walk you through in my program called Meant for More. So I gave you this high level overview of what happens in my program, but I would love for you to be able to learn the details of what exactly we do in that program. And so the way that you can learn that is by getting my free webinar. All you have to do is head over to my website, go to webinar.yourdreamstrategist.com and register, and that webinar will come directly to you. And I'm going to show you my exact process. Now, with that process, you could take it and run and say, okay, I get it. I can take these steps and I can do them all on my own and start creating the lifestyle freedom that I want. And you might hear that process and say, girl, I like what you're saying, but I need some help in doing that. If that's you, then I would love to invite you to get on an exit plan call and let's work on creating a plan specifically for you to exit hustle culture. Like thinking about your specific situations, what's going on in your life, what are your struggles, what are the things that work well for you. We'll create a plan specifically for you. And then if it's a fit for us to continue to work together, then we can talk about that then. But I want to make sure you have the resources you need to be able to create the lifestyle that you want right now. Right now, okay? So make sure you go ahead and head over to get that webinar at webinar.yourdreamstrategist.com. And then if nothing else, make sure you join me here next week, next Friday, for our next Freedom Friday session where we are going to celebrate your wins, set up next week's schedule, and wind down for the weekend. Okay, you guys, it's been so good hanging out with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure you take a second to like this live stream so that YouTube will share it with other people. And I will see you next week. All right, bye.